Okay, so in today's video I have got part 31 of my 365 days of art challenge, so if you want to see what we do this week then keep on watching. Okay, so the first one that I chose to do this week was basically like a pattern continuation one. So obviously, as you can see, there is a pattern already started and then I just had to carry it on. So I decided to use my Zebra fine liners, which if you've watched previous parts of this series then you will not be surprised because I pretty much do everything with these fine liners. But yeah, I love the colours on them and I just think they're so convenient. They don't bleed through the paper like a lot of my other pens do. So yeah, they're just ideal. Obviously, as you can see on this page, I used another pen on the page before this one and didn't actually check it, so yeah, unfortunately there is a little bit of a bleed through on this page, and then you can see like a few tiny little red specks on the right hand side of the page as well. But it is what it is. This book is not supposed to be perfect. It's, you know, it's a book to sort of develop your skills and ideas and whatever, so yeah, if it bleeds through a little bit then it is what it is. I was annoyed about it to begin with, but I just kind of decided that it is what it is, so I'm not going to worry about it, and it doesn't take away from the rest of the work that I do anyway. So yeah, obviously as you can see, just using the pens to build up the pattern, and yeah, it didn't really take too long. Obviously it's a little bit repetitive, but yeah, it didn't take too long to actually complete. It was just obviously changing between the different colours and making sure that I was actually using the right colours, which right at the beginning I did actually use the wrong one. I was supposed to be using the lighter blue for the like little flower bit, and then the darker blue for the ring inside or the circle inside, but I accidentally messed it up on the first one. I think it was a red one that I did possibly first, and I used the darker red instead of the lighter red, so then obviously I had to use the darker blue instead of the lighter blue, but all in all I think it came out okay. And obviously I just put in the orange stars afterwards, which to be fair I probably should have used the darker one that matched the stars a little bit better, but I don't mind, it looks fine anyway, and I did obviously exactly what it asked me to do, and I repeated the pattern and continued it on. I could have obviously continued it like all the way down the page and done like half ones right on the edge and whatever else, but I think it looked fine as it was, and I think it probably actually looked better as it was rather than, you know, continuing it the whole way down and then having like half of one. So yeah, that was the first one that we did this week. And then as you can see, going into the second one here, this one was probably the one that took me the most amount of time this week. So this one basically said to design a pair of trousers, and I decided to basically just go with again a fine line black pen, and just basically create some patterns and like mark making type thing all the way up, and then obviously just kept it the same on each side, and in the end I actually think this came out pretty cool. I couldn't really think of what else to do or what colours I would want to do or anything like that, so I thought, yeah, we'll just design a cool pattern on them basically. So yeah, I think it came out absolutely fine. I would be interested to know though, what would you do if you had this book, or if you have got this book, what did you do for this one? And yeah, what sort of design did you come up with? Mainly because I literally couldn't think of anything else to do, and as I was doing this, like working my way up, I was struggling to sort of think of like different ones to do. So yeah, I would definitely be really intrigued to know what you would do if you had this prompt, because obviously as you can see going up I did sort of repeat the same sort of marks over and over again, which is absolutely fine. I feel like it would need to be like that to make it like at least cohesive, but yeah, as I was sort of going up I was trying sort of to make a conscious effort not to make the gaps between things bigger, to sort of fill the space a little bit more, but yeah, obviously, as you can see, I feel like as I got closer to the top, the gaps that I left did definitely get a little bit bigger in between, because I was running out of ideas of what to put, and I didn't want to keep repeating the same polka dots over and over again. So yeah, that was what I did for that one. And then the next one that I did was basically another pattern making one. So it just said to fill all of the sections with different patterns using sort of cooler tones. So obviously you can see the two example ones at the top. So I used, obviously, as you can see, I used my zebra fine liners as always, but I did also use some watercolour for this one as well. So the first one that I did was entirely watercolour, and then the next one that I did was entirely fine liner. And yeah, I was obviously sort of taking some inspiration from the first prompt. I think I did a couple that were a little bit similar to that. I just kind of kept it with sort of the lines, and sort of, yeah, having the lines sort of cross over each other. That was the sort of vibe that I decided to go for. I couldn't really think of too many different patterns that I was able to do, so yeah, that was what I decided to do. And obviously you can see there that third pattern was again entirely fine liner, and then this one I did a mix of both watercolour and fine liner. So yeah, it wasn't that detailed by any means, but I don't really think they need to be. Obviously you can see the top example ones, they're not exactly detailed or anything. So yeah, I then decided to do sort of like a blue wash and then put something over the top of it, but this ended up a little bit darker than I anticipated it being, so I didn't really know what to put over the top of it, because the fine liners wouldn't really show on it. Well, I'm guessing they wouldn't. If I tried, they might have done, but I didn't even try because I presumed that they wouldn't show. So yeah, I kind of just painted that and then left it while I did the one above it, to kind of give myself a little bit of time to figure out what exactly I was going to do on it. But yeah, you'll see in a minute that I basically ended up just putting some watercolour over the top of it. But yeah, here again using the fine liners and the watercolour. So I use the fine liners to do the base lines, and then the watercolour to go over the top. And then yeah, obviously you can see using a couple different shades of blue. That's basically what we did for the third one, but with watercolour and fine liners. And then yeah, obviously you can see the last one, I just put some blue dots in there, and then yeah, I left that one as it was. The next one that I did was writing down 5 good things that happened to me today. So I put that, you know, the sun was out, had a good day at work. I ordered some Lego, which is exciting. That will be coming tomorrow actually, so really excited for that. And it is the Harry Potter collector's edition Hogsmeade, so please make sure you subscribe if you want to see me build that. That will be coming within the next month. I do have sort of lined up videos for a little while, but yeah, that will be coming very, very soon. So yeah, that was what I did for that prompt. And then the next one that I did said draw a fictional character, and I had my Dumbledore Funko Pop, the giant one, just to the side of me, so I decided to draw that. Obviously with it being Dumbledore, he is the fictional character, but yeah, instead of obviously drawing the character, I drew the Funko Pop. And then the next one that I did said to write or draw something that I saw or heard that inspired me. And I spent some time on Pinterest earlier and was having a look, and I found a bunch of like plant pots that were painted and decorated for like different seasons. So there were some Halloween ones that I saw, some Christmassy ones, some like summery ones. So yeah, I saved a bunch of those in hopes that I will be able to do some of those possibly soon. Maybe do a Halloween video on them and maybe a Christmas one. I thought I could get some pots and use them as like sort of pot covers and have like plants in plastic pots, but then put the plastic pot inside of like the decorated pot, if that makes sense, and then obviously I can change them seasonally. But yeah, that was just sort of an idea that I came across today. And then the last one that we did basically just said to put a pattern or decorate the fan. So yeah, I decorated the fan in a similar way to what we did with the trousers, and yeah, just use some mark making in each of the segments just to fill it out. I don't like this one 100%. I think it's because obviously with the black pen and the fan being so light, it looked a little bit odd while I was doing it, but when it was finished I didn't actually mind how it looked. But yeah, I probably wouldn't do that again if I had to. But yeah, that was what we did this week, and then obviously we just ended off by marking off all of the activities that we did this week. So that was everything that we got done for part 31 or week 31. Let me know what your favourite was down below, and let me know if there's any other videos that you want to see me do. But other than that, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!